Hello everyone, welcome to the third episode of Galactic Science 2 with Arturio Emerys. So, we have a few things to talk about. It's been about an hour, and we've got to a point where we need some organic material, and we'll talk about some of this. I made dirt with the chemical synthesizer using the silicon dioxide from the obsidian, and I didn't make a lot of it. And I took some of the saplings that I had from the farm in a box, and I created a small tree farm. Now, long term, this is not the direction you want to go. There are ways to automate this, but at the moment, I have pressing need for organic material, and you know, early game, you may have to do this. There may be ways to get around this. I'm just not familiar with them yet. And if I do figure out a way to progress through the pack without having to resort to a manual tree farm, I will pass that along. But for now, this is what we're going to do. So I'm gathering up leaves. I only have a very small amount of iron left, so I sacrificed 2 of them to make a pair of shears to get leaves. And this is somewhat expensive, but for the materials you get out of this, it's probably cost effective. It does go through the shears pretty quickly, but like I said, the yield is pretty high. So I've got my magnet on at the moment to make it a lot easier to gather all this stuff, and I'm just going to go until the shears are broken, which is not going to be too much longer. Yeah, we're just about there now. All right, so now I've got axes, and I'm just going to very, very quickly chop all this down. Just chop, chop, chop. Get all this wood. This is useful from time to time. I suppose I could make charcoal out of it. And I guess I ought to test that, because there would be uses for charcoal too. So I just came out here with the unstable induced hammer, and I cleared a flat area just because it's easier to do this in a flat area than, you know, the rolling terrain of the moon or whatever planet we're on. I'm not completely positive. I think if I were to look this up in Galactic Craft, it would say we're on the moon. But I'm not 100%. So we'll just gather this up. We'll let the tree canopy decompose. I may gather up these few saplings that haven't turned into trees yet, just to make this a little easier on me. Oh, I already went. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. We'll just gather all of this. At this point, pretty much everything is a resource you need. And I can't really think of anything that isn't useful in some way that you run across. I even found a use for the magnesium oxide, the byproduct from breaking down silicon. Early game I didn't have any oxygen left, and so in the first episode I actually decomposed the magnesium oxide to get the oxygen to make the iron oxide. Now long term that won't probably be useful. I think there's recipes. Yeah, in a fusion reactor, if you combine lead and magnesium, you make plutonium, it looks like. So I guess from that standpoint, the magnesium is useful too. But other than that, in all of Galactic Science 1 and what I've seen so far in the little bit of Galactic Science 2 I've done, I have not found any useful tremendously useful purpose for magnesium. And again, I haven't messed around with fusion reactors in Galactic Science 2 yet, so that may have changed. You may not be able to make plutonium from magnesium and lead. We'll just have to see. So the sun's getting ready to set, and that's not really a big deal. I'll just go in and lay down in the bed. I just want to gather up as much of this stuff as possible. I now have some apples, which is good because I've run out of zombie flesh, and I had lit up the downstairs, so I'm not going to get very many spawns down there, which is good. That means I can go downstairs without dying as soon as that power system runs out of power and the turret stops working. So we're almost done here. Almost. And I'm doing this for two reasons that I'm breaking all of these. One is so that when I replant, I should be in good shape. And the other is there is a quest for getting 64 saplings. And I don't know that I have quite that many, so I'm just trying to get 64. I have some in the AE network. So this is good timing. I think it'll let me sleep right now. Let's find out. It will. There we go. And I'll go in here and I'll throw some more of that in there. That's all just byproducts of trying to clear an area. Does that give me 64? It does not give me 64. That is unfortunate and painful, but that's okay. So the decomposer, oak leaves will give you cellulose. And of the potential wood products that you have, oak leaves, I believe, have the highest yield. I believe that's what Kathleen told me. And these will be a tremendous resource for producing any kind of organic material. You will need some other ingredients to make a lot of them. Like I think some organic materials you need sulfur and phosphorus and nitrogen. But for the most part, this will help solve most of your problems. For example, this is how I made the dirt. Just one silicon dioxide will make one piece of dirt. Not hard to do. Let me see if I can. Here, let's look this up. Sapling. There we go. I knew it was in there somewhere. So now I have a stack of those. Let's look at the quest book. The quest is, I believe it's this one, Oak Sapling 64. And you get 64 more as a reward, which is good. And this one I haven't looked at yet. It's probably not doable. This one you just have to make mescaline, which is how you make cactus, which is useful. And rationing pipes, haven't really looked at that one yet. So for the most part, so far in the alpha testing phase, I think pretty much all you're going to be able to do is deja vu and improvements. I think those are the only ones that are available. So water, let's do this the easy way. We just need one water. So let's go get one snow. I think this will work. I don't see why this wouldn't work. I'm pretty sure this will work. So if I put snow in there, yep, water. And item rewards, you get all of those. And for the most part, yeah, I'm just going to put them in the AE system over here for now and figure out a use for them later. And even those and even these we'll put away for now. And I'm just going to, as I'm working here, I'm just going to continue doing that. Cellulose, I'll break down some more of that. And I'm going to try to show you some of the things that you can do with, yeah, you can make spruce leaves. You can make various trees. That doesn't make a tree. You can make paper, that's very interesting. Wood, you can make wood directly. All kinds of different stuff. You really have to experiment with it and see what all you can do with cellulose. It's very, very versatile. Birch leaves, acacia. So you can do a lot with it. So we've got some hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen out of this. And we'll just take some. And the first thing we need to do is we need some hydroxide, which is OH. So I'm just going to make a stack of that and put it in there. And somehow it thinks there's oxygen left. I'm not really sure how, but maybe that was left over from something else. So yeah, cellulose has a tremendous high yield. So you're going to produce an awful lot of material from this. Actually, that oxygen I don't need. I need hydrogen and carbon for what I'm trying to make. And I need a lot of them. All right, let's see. The carbon I need, I think, is C20. This is not going to cooperate with me today. There we go, 20. And I believe it's 29 hydrogen. There we go. And 1 OH gives retinol. I'm going to put more of this in here because it takes a lot for what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make a bunch of retinol. All right, the oxygen I'll put over here. I need more carbon. Let's see, I'm not sure how much retinol I need for that quest. We'll find out in a second. Yeah, that one's complete. Retinol, I only needed one. So I got water, which is good. So the only quest I have available over here is diamonds, which is not hard to do. I just don't necessarily have the diamonds to do that, but there's another way to do it. So the reason it was nice to do that is retinol makes carrots, which is a pretty good food source for what I have available at the moment. All right, so over here, all right, I think I have 1 diamond. I have 2 diamonds, but I'm going to sacrifice 1. So 1 diamond makes 3 carbon nanotubes, which is what I believe I need for that quest. Yep. And it'll give me 12 more, which gives me 15. Claim. Okay, I didn't hit the claim button. All right. So this wants a machine frame, and it won't let me do it until I make 3 more lasers. Well, actually only 2 more lasers. So if I make 2 more and break down the one that I already have, I'll have a total of 5. And let's see. So yeah, if you have 27 carbon nanotubes, you get a block of diamond, which is nice. And I can make carbon nanotubes. think like this. But that takes a lot of carbon, which I can do. It'll just take a little bit of time. So I'm going to clear that stuff out of there. Continue trying to clear my inventory. All right, and for now, I'll put all this stuff in here. My AE network is full. So there comes a point where you do have to rely a little bit on old school technologies. And I have reached that point. So let's get all this stuff back out of here again. Or at least as much of it as I can carry at the moment. There we go. Now all of this stuff I can stash in here until I need it. And it'll just give me a little bit more room to work. Early game, you're kind of playing a little bit of inventory management. You know, that's kind of an issue. Okay, so I need 4 stacks to make that. And I will, like I said, I will get a fair amount of carbon from this. It's just somewhat slow to do it this way. I wonder, let me try something real quick. Will it let me do this? It will not. Probably because I've used the shovel and it's got some durability loss. If I had not done that, I probably would be able to break that shovel down and get a little bit of cellulose and probably enough carbon nanotubes to make 1 diamond. All right, carbon, 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 carbon. There. Where did I put the carbon nanotubes? Those are empty tubes. So I need 11 more to make a block of diamond this method. So like I said, it's somewhat slow. And I won't subject you to all of it because, you know, I've done this like 3 times now. And I know that it's not the most riveting video, but I'm just trying to give you a little idea of what you need to do. Is that all the carbon out there? It is? Okay. So this is why a tree farm is kind of necessary. Put that down there early on. And speaking of that, we'll put that away. We'll grab some of this. We'll go replant that tree farm. Because right now, I have 2 options. I can go mine up a bunch of moon rock and run it through the sieve and get diamonds that way. And I need a minimum of 4 diamonds to make 2 lasers. And that's a lot of moon rock to sieve. It would take something, I think about 8 stacks of moon rock. You need to sieve. Get that out of there. Get that out of there. Is that all? Yeah, I think that's all. Other things that I should show you that are useful is these fishing rods that you get for sieving. It's either the dirt or the turf, I'm not sure which one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is that all of them? I think that's all of them. You'd think, what am I going to do with fishing rods? I mean, you could set up water and you know, fish and maybe get useful stuff. But more interestingly, here, let's take that out of there. That was kind of hard to see. Carbon, 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 carbon. And for now, the hydrogen and oxygen, but just for now, are waste products. All right, so I'm going to clear some of this out of here just to make it a little more obvious what's happening. Okay, so 22 cellulose and 1 each of these 3, I believe these are proteins, alanine, serine, and glycine. They're either proteins or amino acids, probably amino acids. I didn't get any that time. I did get, you notice I did get a little bit of cellulose there. Oh, I got some more there. Actually got 2 of each there. So it's like that. I didn't get any that time. So you can combine these 3 and make string. Combine them just like that and you make string. So that's useful. So if you want to make another sieve down the road, that's how you do it. Or I guess you could make a crook. And plant trees and do that. I suppose you could do that. I think that works. There's a... Oh, I don't quite have... There. We'll clear that out of there to give us a little more room. But in theory, using the chemical decomposer and the chemical synthesis machine, you should be able to make almost anything organic. So like, for example, steak. I'm pretty sure there is a recipe in here. Nope, there is not. You can't make steak. But raw beef, can you make beef? Nope, there are no recipes for beef at all. Okay, so they're not going to let you do that. I think under normal circumstances, you could make beef that way, which is a better food source. Interesting. So again, I'm going to just keep kind of gathering up this carbon and throw it in here. And I have 19, so I need 8 more. This is going to take a while. Okay, everyone, I'm back briefly. I didn't want to do a full episode on this. I broke down a bunch of cellulose to get carbon. I turned the hydrogen and oxygen into water. And I also took some coal out of the AE network, quite a bit of it, and broke that down in the decomposer for carbon. And I managed to get the 27 nanotubes. Let's see, that's over here. And the reason is this right here. All right, so that's how you make diamonds. Let me see, test something out real quick. You can make diamond dust that way, but if you do that, you have to put them in the assembly table to turn them into diamonds, and that takes forever. It takes a lot of power. So if you're going to make diamonds this way, believe it or not, your best way to do it is to do it a block at a time, which is just very, very large amounts of carbon. Okay, so now we've got a block of diamond. And got that. And we're going to do this real quick. I'll turn that back on for a minute. This will just take a minute, and I will add this to episode 3, since I finished this about 20 minutes after I finished recording episode 3. Okay, for some reason they're not coming out of here real well. They're getting stuck. So I need 6 of these. There's 4. And 5. And 6. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. Diamonds. And I could make one more, and I may at some point. In fact, I may just go ahead and do it, because a lot of these other recipes, the more lasers you have, the faster they go, and some of them, without a lot, it takes forever. So we'll just go ahead and make as many as we have the ability to make right now. All right. Okay, so that gives us 4 lasers. We have 1 already, and we'll get 2 as a reward. There we go. And now you can see that this is a machine frame, which takes a lot of power. That's a quarry, and these ones you can't see yet until we do one of the other ones. So we'll just go set these up really quick. Oops. There we go. There's power there. So now we have 7 lasers, which is not bad. That's pretty good. And what does it take to make a machine frame? The basic one, you need 2 pieces of glass. The tin gear we got as a reward. I've got a little bit of iron left, so I should be able to do that. I will start it now. How much iron? Four iron, 2 glass, 1 tin gear. And tin gear. There we go. And machine frame. We'll see how fast that moves. And with 7 lasers, it hardly moves at all. So you can see, and the machine frame is not even the really bad one. There's ones later that are even worse than a machine frame. Like you can't even see the indicator yet. So this is going to take a very long while. I had 12 lasers in my other world, or I have 12 lasers in my other world, And that does go faster for some of the stuff, but just some of the recipes just take a lot of power and they're going to take a lot of time. But anyway, I wanted to add that to episode 3 rather than waiting to add it to episode 4. So there you have it. That's how you make your lasers, a way to make diamonds other than mining the moon rock. And hopefully that will be helpful. Arturio Emerys signing out again.